Hello there, everyone. Zantok here with Slickstar Gaming, and welcome to another episode here of 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. Continuing on from the stream archive footage that I played a while back, but let's go ahead and kick it off to Past Me, who's going to be continuing through the game. Take it away. Zombie. He stepped inside.
Oh, wow.
It took only a moment for Junpei to take in his new surroundings.
Is this some kind of casino?
Sure looks like one.
Before Junpei could comment further, a noise from behind made him turn around. Snake was shaking the door that just come through. Motherfucker.
Well, this is troubling.
As Seven and Junpei watched, he threw up his hands in frustration and then kicked the door for good measure.
It seems we are once again locked in.
There was no reason to panic, however.
Even if that door was open, it's not like we had anywhere to go that way.
So we must find another exit then.
All right, guys, let's split up and search this room. Come on, no dawdling. Let's go. Quickly now.
Are we immediately already back in another escape room? Damn. Spurred to action by Seven's words, Junpei and Snake began to examine the room. Fuck. I thought we'd have more dialogue than that before we got another one, but okay. Jesus. Alright, we're in a casino now. And once again, no cut-in that apparently there is supposed to be. Alright. Actually, wait, let me look at the map again. Was this just one room? Yes, but it might have to maybe click to go to the hallway. Alright, let's just click around. The 5 of spades. Thank you. There's nothing on the table anymore. But what about under it? Okay. Oh. Standard run-of-the-mill chairs. Fair enough. Really weird there's no cut-in, but whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Something on the counter. Looks like a card. A playing card. 7 of spades. Yep. Another playing card. 4 of spades. Do I what? Do I just gotta make a straight flush? I think that's what it's called. When the symbol's the same and it's just numbers that are 5 in a row. I think. I don't card. There's a whole lot of glasses on that shelf. Doesn't look like there's anything else back there though. Okay. Well, will you look at that? Someone left a bottle of booze here. Don't mind if I do. Oh, that hits the spot. Feels like my throat's burning. Damn, you really drink it. We even know how long it's been there. The counter's pretty well polished. Yeah, I thought maybe there was going to be something here, but I guess not. And I can't click that. The chandeliers hang chandelier-like from the ceiling. Now can I click this? Nope, still no. Okay. 7 getting fucked up. Yeah. Three. We got 3, 4, 5, 7. So we just need the 6 now. Wow, this place is like super amazing. What's this place for? Probably for playing Baccarat. Looks a little off though. Yeah, look at the middle of the table. There's something mounted on it, see? Suddenly, someone began to speak.
Ah, Baccarat. You ever played Junpei?
Junpei shook his head. He'd barely even heard of the game.
No, never.
All right then. How about I explain the rules to you a bit? See, Baccarat is kind of an unusual game. You've got the banker and the player. The whole point is that you guess which one's gonna win. And whether the banker or the player wins, it all depends on their hands. The way each hand works is different from other games too. See, you take the number from the ones place after you add up the value of all your cards. Whoever gets the number closest to 9 wins. If your number is smaller than your opponent's, you lose. And that's it. That's the explanation. Got it?
So this is just digital root the card game?
Well, actually, there's a lot more to it. Strategy, details, that sort of stuff. But what I just told you sums up the core of the game pretty well. The single digit of the sum of all the cards you have. The strongest hand is a 9. The weakest hand is a 0. You just ignore the number in the 10 spot. Do you get it?
Yeah.
He hadn't been asked for it, but someone's explanation, rush though it had been, was helpful.
Well, maybe half of it. Enough. I got a chance at winning the game if I played now.
However, we have no way of knowing if the puzzle in the Baccarat table makes use of those rules. And if it does, in what manner?
Then I guess we try everything.
Feeling more confident, if only slightly, Junpei approached the Baccarat table. I don't have all the cards? Okay, I guess the dealer's card is 8, so I need to make a 9. I'm not entirely sure I understand this, so I'm just going to place 3 cards down first. Hey Sam, are we really supposed to play Baccarat? Oh, it's a Baccarat table, what the hell else would we do? Fair. Stop worrying about it. It's real simple. What's the opponent's hand? Well, there's an 8 in that glass case. Alright, and that's your opponent's number. If that's the case, what 3 cards do we need to get that number? 3 cards? There are a couple of indentations with white lines around them, right? That means we gotta put down 3 cards. So, place 3 cards here and defeat the opponent's 8. That's what I've gotta do, I guess. Yeah, I think so. Something tells me those aren't the only rules. Alright, let's give it a shot. I feel like it's probably just the digital root stuff again. First, I better make sure I got the rules straight. There are 3 empty indentations. I just gotta pick a card and play it. I figure if I put them in the right spots, something ought to happen. Alright, let's give this a try. I always think I'm gonna have what I need for this. Let me think here, though. If this is what I think it is... Yeah, I'm not gonna have it. But let me see if this gives me what I think I should get. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, I guess it won't tell you unless you actually get it. Okay, so we're missing a card, I feel. So let's keep looking around the room. Check out that stained glass. How beautiful. What? The stained glass is colored pieces of glass pieced together in a frame. As I've said many times before, I need only to touch it to know. I can at least discern the basic structure. Okay. I don't trust that you're blind, though. I don't want to go over there just yet. It says 1 on the plate. So I get the symbols for heart, spade, and diamond here. Okay. Has a pretty old-fashioned design. It looks well maintained and probably still works. This one's 2. Heart, spade, and diamond. Okay. Wait, when those 2 lights turned on, I heard something from the bottom of the fireplace. What was that? I heard something down there. Just gonna write those down just in case we need those for something else. Okay. Also, card. I don't think I find a card here. There's something in the fireplace. Coins for the machine. Yay. Alright, let's go gambling. Oops. Alright, let's put a coin from that bag in here. What happened? I heard an odd noise. Well, to be honest, I don't know. I pressed some of the buttons and smacked the machine once or twice, but nothing happened. Oh. Well, looks like the coin got stuck. Oh dear. Let's try the next one. Alright, let's drop this coin in the coin slot. Come on, you little bastards. I'm gonna need one of you. Same symbols that were on the lights. 777. Yes! And I think I hear something unlocking. Impressive, Junpei. It would appear to be unlocked now. There is something akin to a drawer in the bottom part of this machine, yes? That is a pickup drawer for dividend. Probably the lock for the drawer got unlocked. Please, open it if you would. Another fucking card. What is it? Is there something in there? Yeah, a playing card. And this. A key with the Venus symbol on it. Excellent, Junpei. Now we'll be able to open the gate. And we just need to figure out how to get out of this room. Correct. Come on, Junpei. Hurry up. And he's off. Oh, there's a playing card and a Venus key. Better put the key in my pocket for later. As for the card... Getting so many cards. I'm just going to check the third machine because why the hell not? Oops. Except apparently my coin bag is gone, so no, I won't. Before I go over there, I want to click this. It says 9. Yeah, looks like that cover's hiding something. If this is the cover, then maybe it opens up. Probably does. I'm guessing I needed an 8 card to put with the ace. It seems the card is attached to the panel. And attached very well, it seems. If you don't mind, what sort of card is this? It's a playing card. The ace of spades, in fact. Here's the card slot. Looks like we need to put a playing card in here. Alright, let's give it a shot. It's not gonna... Sure, I'll try it. But yeah, no. I need an 8. 777 first try. Damn, Junpei should visit Vegas once he escapes. You know, he might have some competition as a lucky individual. So it would seem. I am shocked and appalled that guessing at random has not yielded better results. Yeah. Alright, Snake, calm it down a little. Damn it. This isn't exactly working out the way I expected. It's locked, isn't it? Is there a keyhole? If there is, I can't find it. Well, there must be some way to unlock it. Let's look around a little more, shall we? Oh, I thought this would take me over here. Okay. And this is the road we came through. Okay, so I guess we'll go to the... So we'll go back over here. Okay. So my assumption of how this worked was that I needed to make 9 using the same digital root stuff, but I didn't think with the cards I had that I could. It's good. Oh, wait a minute. No, yeah, I should be able to. What the fuck? Why didn't I do this before? Give. Great. You did it, Junpei. You think it's telling us to take the 8 card? Come on, let's grab it. Alright, let's take this card. Little bit of confusion, but I got it. And in you go. Hey, alright, it opened up. Oh. Seems we have another device to contend with, yes? There are 3 slots in this one. Let's see, 3 slots for cards. And there's a 9 right below them. So the problem is we gotta make 9 with the 3 cards we put in the slots, right? Just like what we did over at the Baccarat table. Alright, let's give it a shot. Well, gee. We only have 3 cards. And guess what they add up to? 9. Alright, so put all the cards we had left into the slots. And what happens now? Is that? Yes, I did hear something from the exit. Excellent work, Junpei. Wonderful. It seems the exit is unlocked. Let's go. Alright, let's go. It just works. Junpei and his companions ran out of the casino and into a large open room. A room, in fact, they had been in once before. There was little to surprise them there. They already knew what their next step had to be. Yeah, before we go that way, though, we did another puzzle, so. The iron gate still stood in place, locked tight, blocking the stairway, and right in the center of it,
The keyhole with the Venus symbol. The Venus key should work here.
wasting no time, he pulled it out and shoved it into the keyhole. He turned it. The distinctive sound of metal on metal. He felt the lock click open.
It sounds like it did. All right, let's get this thing open.
No problem. Let me help with this one.
Junpei grabbed the handle on the left side, and Seven took the handle on the right. On Junpei's signal, they both pushed, and the gate creaked open.
It sounds as though you have opened it. We should be able to reach C deck now, I imagine.
Snake, are you gonna be all right? I mean, the stairs.
Please, do not do yourself the embarrassment of underestimating me. I would be unlikely to trip even if I were running backwards.
Good to
Okay.
hear. Let's move.
At Seven's words, they leapt onto the stairs and jogged quickly down them. In no time at all, they found themselves on C deck.
Everything looks okay here.
We should check the next deck down, just in case.
When he reached the water, he called back up to Snake and Seven.
Just what I thought. D-deck is completely underwater.
I guess I can erase my Club Diamond Heart notes now, because that's what we did for the slot machine. Here we go. Ready for the next room.
Just like the bottom of the central staircase.
The surface of the water below them was flat, like a mirror.
I'm just glad the water level hasn't changed much.
Back to the C deck then.
Now, how about we check out what's here?
They began searching around and taking stock of what was on C deck.
There are 2 elevators over there, which means it's probably the same upstairs.
There's a card reader between them.
I want to say that's Mercury.
And another weird mark.
I feel like it's either Mercury or Mars.
Hey,
But I think Mars
check it out.
had
It's
like...
the symbol for Lotus.
But I don't get it. Why is it the symbol for Lotus? What?
What?
See? It's got the woman symbol, and then it's got the devil horns, right?
Dude. Dude.
Yeah, I see it. No two ways about it. That was a pretty good one, kid.
Seven tousled Junpei's hair in what he likely thought to be a friendly manner. Junpei, however, feared his neck might break, even though it was clear Seven had kept the strength in check.
Oh, would you watch it, man? Whoa, that hurts. You're gonna break my neck.
What are you talking about? The human body ain't that weak. Maybe this'll toughen you up, huh?
If we were looking for a devil, we've got one right here.
Thankfully, Snake interrupted. After Junpei's observation, he'd gone over to examine the card reader.
This is a Mercury symbol.
Okay, that's what I thought.
The marks you mistook for horns are a stylized version of the wings and staff of Hermes.
What? If they're supposed to be wings, why are they on his head?
Wings and a staff. Huh. So then, she beats you with the staff until you die and go to heaven. Sounds like Lotus, all right.
Seven shook Junpei's head even more vigorously, and the younger man began to feel as though his brain was being jostled about inside of his skull.
7? Oh, that's too much. Oh, my head.
Junpei's stomach began churning uncomfortably.
Oh, I think I'm gonna puke.
Unless we can activate this device, I doubt the elevator will function.
In other words, we gotta find a key card with a Mercury symbol on it.
So I would assume.
Let's forget the elevators for right now. How about that hallway to the left?
Whoa, there's a bunch of doors.
There were a great many doors lining both sides of the hallway. They seemed to stretch on forever, and all three men suddenly felt very small.
Ah, shit. We're not gonna have enough time to check all these, are we?
Maybe we can come back here later. We should check out the other side. Let's head back.
To the right of the stairs, another hallway stretched out, reaching deep into the bowels of the ship.
To the right this time.
After a few moments of moving briskly down the hallway, they emerged into an area roughly the same size and shape as the one at the top of the stairs. On the left side of the room were 4 French doors.
There are doors here too. Well, I guess it's just 4 this time.
Let's open them up, starting with the closest one there.
Okay, I'm on it.
Junpei nodded and grabbed the one closest to him. He gave it a small tug and felt it move.
It isn't locked. I'm going to open it.
Thrilled to have found another unlocked door, he threw it open. Junpei didn't know what to make of what he saw.
What?
Okay. Looks like a hospital room of some sort. This is where all the sick patients are gathered. He simply stood, unable to speak. Seven's eyes opened wide and his mouth gaped. After a few long moments, Seven at last managed to speak.
Hey, what is this place? It's so huge and empty.
A massive room stretched out in front of them, more a cavern than a room. Its vastness was oppressive, and it bore down on Seven and Junpei. It was not empty, however. The entire room was filled with lines upon lines of beds. They were simple things, little more than pipe and thin mattresses.
Oh, there are beds everywhere.
Is this a hospital? The harsh scent in the air is reminiscent of antiseptic solution.
I think so. There are shelves in the center of the room with medicine and surgical tools.
Hey, look there. The 4 doors at the end.
Number doors. 3 of them were emblazoned with a large single-digit number, made with thick red paint.
The left door says 3. The second door is blank, but the third has a 7. And the rightmost door is 8. There's no doubt. They're numbered doors.
Hey, why is that door between 3 and 7 blank? Does that mean anything?
Well, it's not a
No
card
point
reader.
worrying about it right now. Let's see if these will open first.
Yeah, good idea.
The 3 of them threaded their way through the beds toward the back of the room. Upon reaching them, they proceeded to investigate each door in turn, but to no avail. You guys know how these work. Come on. I don't know why you bother to try and force them open. You gotta do the scanner.
Locked. Just like I thought.
Naturally. After all, there are rules to the Nonary game, and to allow these doors to open easily would violate those rules. Unless we can authenticate ourselves with the red, the numbered doors will...
Whoa, check this out.
Suddenly, Seven spoke up, interrupting Snake.
Look at the red. There's nothing on it.
Huh?
Don't you remember the red back at the main staircase? If there wasn't anyone in it, it said vacant on the little screen, remember?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I'm guessing we're waiting on the other group to get here, or to at least find out if they died or not before we can do these next section.
But this one,
There's nothing.
right? You think it's broken?
Only one way to find out.
No, nothing.
Junpei and the others put their hands on the panel, but nothing happened. The red refused to change. They tried pulling the lever, and still nothing. As they soon discovered, it wasn't only the red on door 8 that seemed to be malfunctioning.
How about the red on door 7? And door 3?
I didn't think all of them would be malfunctioning.
What does it mean?
They've got to be broken. Man, that bastard. I didn't think Zero was the kind of guy who'd screw around with something like this.
Whoa, whoa, Zero's been prepared for everything so far, and you're saying he's gonna make a mistake now?
Why are we defending Zero?
Well, that's the only thing I could think of. This thing ain't working at all.
While Junpei and Seven talked, Snake busied himself with examining the red. After a time, he lowered his hands and spoke.
It seems as if some of the internal hardware has been removed.
Internal hardware?
That is what I said. Take a look at the underside of this red, if you please.
The bottom?
Junpei obliged, and bent over to look at the underside of the device.
Huh, there's a thin slot here. I think it's a slot for something. Probably electronic.
The other two reds are the same. Something's been removed from all three of them.
I get it. So the reds aren't working because somebody pulled out their guts.
Well,
I
then
assume-
let's go back to the 9th man and use some of his.
But why?
Too soon?
And who? I mean, it really doesn't make sense.
I have no idea. Why on earth would I know something like that?
Just then, they heard the sound of a door opening.
Oh, what now?
The three of them turned and saw everyone else! Or at least Akane. Oh no, Junpei thought. It's...
June!
Yeah, because we gotta do code names now. She stopped short, surprised to see them, and was very nearly bowled over by the rest of her companions, who were coming through the door behind her.
Ace! Santa! Clover! And Lotus!
Okay, but why did it all get super ominous sounding?
Guess everyone's here.
Junpei and Seven were, for the moment, at a loss for words.
What are you guys doing?
Why are you...
That's my line?
Perhaps we should exchange information.
Yes. After a moment of silence and surprise, everyone suddenly began to talk, desperate to exchange information. They talked about the rooms they'd been through and how they'd ended up in the same place. Of course, none of it was very useful information, but that hardly mattered. They were happy to simply see one another again. Although the level of cheer varied greatly from person to person, each one of them was wearing some manner of smile. Almost as though they had already forgotten about the death of the 9th man. No, thought Junpei. Perhaps that wasn't it. Perhaps thoughts of his death were what drove them to smile at one another. Not in a morbid or hateful way, no. The 9th man had died, but they were still alive, and that was something to be happy about. A sort of simple and complicated joy, Junpei thought. The joy of being alive. Still alive. GLaDOS. He felt sorry for the 9th man, but more than anything, Junpei was just happy to be alive.
And that's what we know.
With that, Junpei finished his own explanation.
Well, this isn't good. If the red is inactive, we can't keep going.
The joy of not being the 9th man. Yes, that is correct.
What about that big hallway? Maybe there's somewhere in there we might be able to go.
No, there's nothing there. The 5 of us had a quick look. There are plenty more hospital rooms, but nothing else.
You mean all those doors are for hospital rooms?
Yes. There are a number of individual rooms in addition to this large one.
There was a door at the end of the hallway, but it was locked.
It had one of those solar system mark things on it.
It was the Jupiter symbol.
Jupiter.
I wonder what it means.
Confusion seemed to be the consensus.
While we're asking what things mean, what's the deal with this room? I mean, I thought this was a cruise ship, but I can't imagine a cruise ship would have a hospital like this.
No one, not even Snake, appeared ready to offer an answer until Seven unexpectedly spoke up.
Well, I figure it's probably a hospital ship. Chances are it's the Gigantic.
The Gigantic?
Okay. Junpei looked at Seven, shocked both by his knowledge and the apparent identity of their prison. He was not the only one.
What is this gigantic?
I mean, have you looked at the man? Seven nodded to Lotus and began to speak.
The Gigantic. She was a sister ship to the Titanic, built in the early 20th century. Actually, the Titanic had two sister ships, and they looked exactly the same. The Gigantic was said to be one of them. They intended to make her a passenger liner like the Titanic, but World War I began soon after the ship launched. The British Navy took her over and made her a hospital ship. At some point during the war, the Gigantic was damaged by a German mine in the Aegean Sea. She ran aground afterwards, so she didn't end up sunk. What happened to her after that? One theory going around is that a man named Lord Gourdane bought her. Seemed like he'd been one of the few to survive the Titanic sinking. That trauma turned him into some kind of obsessive collector of all things related to the Titanic. Soon enough, the guy wanted the Titanic itself. Which was impossible, of course. It's stuck at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. But the Gigantic wasn't. And seeing as she was identical...
So you're saying this Lord Gourdane bought this ship?
Yeah, at least I think I am.
That's impossible. No way we're in some boat that's almost 100 years old.
Pipe down, just pay attention. What, that's it? Well, have you got any proof?
Proof?
Proof that the ship is really the gigantic.
Well, this ship's got stuff that's like the Titanic and a hospital ship. So, I just figured...
Oh, for goodness. Don't tell me that's your only reason.
No, I've got more.
Like?
Well, I mean...
Seven looked around desperately, doing anything to avoid meeting Lotus's piercing stare. He scratched his head for a moment and then gave up. Finally, he opened his mouth.
I don't know.
Lotus sighed and shook her head.
I guess your memory isn't back yet, is it?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Then, almost as if to save Seven from further embarrassment... Hour 2. No, hour 3? Hour 2. I don't remember. A bell began to ring from far away.
It sounds like the clock in the main stairway.
Junpei counted each chime carefully.
10, 11, 12. 12.
Fuck!
It's midnight. Then we've still got 6 hours left, right?
Let's get going. We gotta find the missing parts for the Reds.
What do you mean, find? How on earth do you propose we do that?
By using our eyes and not being a bitch.
We've looked everywhere in this room,
They had been examining the room as they talked.
but we haven't found anything.
Right.
Fun fact, when the Gigantic got struck by a mine, the captain tried to steer the ship to shore, turning on the engine while people were already sent down in rescue boats. Needless to say, many people died when the turbine sucked the boats in like a blender. Jesus! Fucking Christ! Alright.
That only leaves one place to look.
One?
Well, not just one.
Huh?
Wait. Don't tell me you mean we need to search all of the other rooms.
Yes.
Well, you already checked some of them out before you came here, right?
We each checked a single room, so 5 rooms in total.
All right, then. That's 5 rooms we don't have to search.
If they remember which rooms they
We
searched.
just have to split up the rest between the 8 of us. If each of us can do 6 rooms apiece, we'll have the other 48 rooms cleared in no time.
Oh, good God.
There are 48 other rooms?
Lotus did not seem excited by the prospect. Seven fidgeted nervously before responding.
Maybe?
More doors in here than Monsters Inc. Yeah, I really feel like I've been lied to about there being 9 doors. Obviously, 9 numbered doors, but still. After some discussion, the 8 of them decided which rooms to begin with and in what order they would go. Also, 9 persons, but not really 9 characters. It's 8 characters and a plot device. Junpei was chosen to search the rooms on the starboard side, moving from fore to aft.
Alright, so everyone knows which area they're searching?
9th man did not have any character.
Yeah.
Yes!
They also determined when they would return to report their findings. The next time the clock sounded the time. We're going to spend an hour looking for this thing? Fuck. When it did, they would meet back in the large central room full of beds.
We'll all meet up when the clock goes off again. How about in that room with all the beds?
Yeah. Sounds straightforward enough.
If, during their search, any one of them were to look at the missing components, they were to yell for the others.
I'll shout if I find any of the components we need.
I hope we can find them within the time limit.
If this strategy failed, they returned to discuss their options later.
If we can't, then we'll just have to come up with another plan.
Right. Then let's do this.
The details decided, they left to begin searching. Out into the hallway they went, each of the rooms they'd been assigned. However, from far away, Junpei heard the bell ring. It did so only once. It was 1 a.m.
It's 1. I better get back to the others.
He jogged to the entrance of the large hospital room to find 6 of the others already there.
Huh?
Ace, Santa, Clover, June, Seven, and Lotus. They had gathered in front of the door number 8. Or perhaps more accurate, they had gathered in front of the red next to the door number 8.
What are they doing over there?
Had one of them found the missing piece?
What happened, guys?
It was June who answered him.
Junpei, look!
She was pointing at the red. He pushed through the others until he stood in front of it. Immediately, he knew what she had meant.
Vacant.
Junpei sighed.
Come on, guys. Who was it? I thought we were supposed to yell if we found it.
Well,
Junpei wondered why she was hesitating. The others looked as confused as June, but kept their mouths shut.
What the hell? What is up with you guys?
They all knew something he didn't, and Junpei wasn't about to leave things that way. Finally, Lotus frowned and spoke.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know.
You don't know.
When I got back, it was already like this. There was no one else here. That means I was the first one back, but the missing parts were already back in the red.
What? Let me see.
Junpei looked at the bottom of the red again, just to make sure. The slot that had been open on the bottom was now covered with metal.
You're right. It's in there. What about the other 2?
They're the same.
Let me take a look.
Junpei quickly examined the other 2 boxes.
It's just as you said.
Satisfied that they were also repaired, but still very confused, he returned to the others.
Alright, I just want to be sure here. Nobody has any idea what the hell happened here, right?
Correct.
none.
Ace and June nodded silently. Seven raised his hands as if to say, not me, and Santa just shrugged. I mean, there's one person that's not here, so theoretically, Snake could have done this. But also, why? Or there's a 10th person! Only Clover lowered her head and did nothing. Somebody else hidden around.
Wait a minute.
That was what he noticed. Where the feck is Snake? Junpei swept his eyes across the room a second time, but Snake was nowhere to be seen.
Does that mean that he found them?
I've no idea. There's nothing to suggest it. But nothing to suggest he didn't either.
I don't suppose we'll know until we can ask him in person.
Well, whatever he did or didn't do is pretty damn late. What the hell is he up to?
Maybe
Dying?
he's lost.
Yeah, well, that seems likely. Dude can't see. I don't know how he gets around in the first place.
Clover raised her head.
No! That's impossible!
Suddenly, she was shouting.
My brother's blind, but he's got really great hearing. He can get around as well as anyone who can see. So he couldn't get lost. That's impossible.
I feel like we're about to find a body. Clover had started to shake, and the knuckles of her hands had gone white. She spun around. Before she did, Junpei noticed tears welling up in her eyes.
I'm gonna go look for him.
The words were barely out of her mouth when she began to run.
Hey, hold on, Clover. Wait!
Junpei cried out to her, but he was too slow. She kept going, and before anyone else could react, she was gone.
Well, that didn't work. Damn it. What should we do now?
Well, the red is working now.
No, we're not leaving two people behind. We should go look for them.
Oh man, this ain't good.
Oh, yes, what an excellent idea. We just wasted a bunch of time looking for some piece of electronic junk. Now let's waste some more by looking for a couple of idiots.
Then remain here if you feel you must, but there's no time. We've only 5 hours left.
Junpei and the others nodded to one another and took off at a run. In front of the stairs that led to the B deck, they decided to split up.
Let's split up.
All right, I'll take this direction.
Then I shall look that way.
I'll be over here.
See you all later.
Soon, only two of them were left. Those two were Junpei and June, who'd been a few steps behind the others.
All right, we should go too.
Yes, let's go. But where should we start?
Let's see.
The casino.
How about the casino on B deck?
Okay, let's go, Jumpy.
Stop calling me that. They took off up the stairs at a run. Before they knew it, they were there. So was Lotus. She was leaning against the wall, examining her nails.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
She glanced up at him, unimpressed.
Isn't it obvious? I'm looking for Snake.
I'm just not seeing it.
Really? Maybe you need to look harder.
I don't think that's the problem.
Oh, by the way, I've got a proposal for you two. Care to hear it?
Okay.
What is it?
Well, I don't like to beat around the bush, so I'll get right to it. Why don't we team up?
Team up?
Yeah. What? You need me to explain it to you? I'm saying, why don't we go through a numbered door?
Even if we wanted to, that's impossible.
Why?
Jumpy's bracelet number is 5, mine is 6, and yours is 8. Our digital root would be 1. But there's no number 1 door in the large hospital room. The only doors there are 3, 7, and 8.
Then we add another person.
Makes sense.
Huh?
Who?
What? Isn't that easy? 7.
Oh, if we add 7, 5 plus 6 plus 8 plus 7 equals 26. The digital root of 26, 2 plus 6 equals 8.
Then the four of them could go through the number 8 door. But
Wait a minute. What about the other 4? Ace, Snake, Santa, and Clover.
Well, why don't you add them up?
well, simple enough.
1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10. And 1 plus 0 equals 1. The digital root for those 4 would be 1.
That's right.
And you know the number 1 door isn't in the big hospital room, right?
Of course I know that.
No! Are you saying you'd leave them behind?
Of course not. What kind of woman do you think I am?
One that would leave them behind.
Once we get off the ship, we could come back and rescue them, couldn't we?
I would not count
Then
on
we
that.
wouldn't really be leaving them behind.
Don't try to lie to us. I don't think you do anything of the sort.
Really? Why do you think that?
You remember, don't you? We have less than 5 hours left. Even if we manage to escape, there's no way we could come back to rescue them in less than 5 hours.
Well, you never know until you try.
No, you're not thinking this through. Even if we brought 7 with us, we wouldn't be able to get off the ship. The four of us couldn't open door 9. It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Yeah, that's right. The digital route for the 4 of us would be 8, so we'd have to add Ace to make 9.
That's right. Unless we bring Ace too, we'll be stuck.
Lotus scratched the back of her ear.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
Unfortunate. That's all you have to say?
She didn't sound particularly bothered by what Junpei said. Notice she seemed particularly surprised.
Well, let's try and find another way, okay? A way to get out of here with all 8 of us.
That's impossible. Are you being serious? And you do know that only 5 people, at most, can go through one of the numbered doors, right? The number 9 isn't going to be an exception to that rule. Regardless, at least 3 people will get left behind.
Somebody forgot about the 9th man.
Huh.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
The moment he said it, Junpei felt a chill run down his spine.
Wait just a second. You're skipping over a really big detail.
Yes, what she said was true. But how Lotus could remain cavalier about so terrifying a prospect was beyond
Is
him.
that really okay? That means 3 people will die in the end. Are you okay with that?
3 more.
That's just...
Lotus's forehead furrowed.
You think I could have a moment alone? There's some things I need to think about.
Fair enough. Okay. I mean, that was interesting. If it hadn't been the fact that we've been leaving the other 4 people behind the room, I would be like, okay, sure, I can make this deal. Fuck it. Why the hell not? But soon she's just like, so they get left behind. So what? She's like, alright, well, you're back to being not a friend. Junpei and June turned and began walking away from Lotus.
That didn't turn out to be a very pleasant conversation.
I mean, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Junpei's heart felt heavy, and his steps sluggish. But he told himself, pessimism would get them nowhere.
Regardless,
So he forced himself to smile and turned to June.
let's just focus on finding Snake for now, okay?
Yes, you're right. We can think about those other things later.
Yeah.
Junpei nodded.
All right. Where should we go next?
Let's go... I don't really want to go just like in straight order, because that seems boring. So let's just go to the hallway with all the rooms.
Let's go back downstairs and check out that hallway with all the doors.
Together they ran down the stairs.
Oh, it's Ace.
Out of them, farther down the hallway, they spotted Ace.
Hey, Snake! Where are you? Answer me if you're there!
What should Junpei do? I didn't expect this to be a choice, but let's run to Ace.
Let's go.
With June in tow, Junpei jogged up to Ace. Hearing their footsteps, he turned to greet them.
Ah, hello there. Snake is... Well, that's obvious, isn't it? I assume you haven't found him yet?
Nope.
Yeah, doesn't seem like you're having any luck either.
I really wonder where he could have gone.
Well, wherever he's disappeared to, we must find him as quickly as we can. For Clover's sake.
Right.
June's face looked kinda enraptured.
By the way, do you think Clover and Snake are really siblings?
Why would you say that?
Everything about their appearance. Why would you say that? The question seems somehow odd to Junpei.
Why? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? They don't look alike at all.
Ace looked at him for a moment and then spoke.
Yes, you know, now that you mention it, they don't.
Now that you mention it,
Still, there are a great many siblings who do not look like one another. It certainly isn't rare.
Alright, sounds good, Kelly. What I'm kind of thinking, in about 18 minutes once we hit the next hour mark, to stop for now. That way I can get some food, feed the dogs, and I might come back in probably like an hour after that. It's kind of where I'm feeling things. So, if you come back and I'm not on, that's probably why. Junpei wasn't sure why or even if he was seeing what he thought he was, but he could have sworn that Ace's face tightened as he spoke.
At any rate, we really must find Snake as soon as possible. The clock is ticking. We really can't afford to waste any time. Very well. Let's get back to the search, shall we? You can leave this area to me.
All right. Let's go, Junpei.
At June's urging, they left. They found themselves back at the stairs, but Junpei's mind was in turmoil.
About that was... I'll think on it later. Like Ace said, finding Snake is our top priority.
Junpei did his best to clear his mind.
Alright, where should we go next?
Well, we already went to the casino. Can we just go? What happens if we go back?
Let's go take a look around the casino.
Okay, let's go.
They quickened their pace and headed for B deck.
There's no one here. Let's try somewhere else.
Okay. First class cabin.
Look at the first class cabin. It's really close.
They turned around and took off down the hallway to their left. And outside the first class cabin, they found Clover. She was standing in front of the wall. She was staring at a meaningless point on the wall, her eyes blank. What should Junpei do? Well, obviously we're to talk to her.
Are you alright?
It did his best to sound friendly, but Clover didn't respond.
Look, I know you're really worried, but...
He could think of no words to say that didn't sound hollow and fake. Junpei hesitated. Clover was so consumed by worry and fear that Junpei feared it would crush her. Her actions didn't surprise him. She had suddenly lost her brother, who she seemed to have been very close to.
Alone.
Her voice was thin, and barely audible.
Alone. I said leave me alone!
You really didn't, but alright. Suddenly she was screaming.
So annoying! Just go away and leave me alone!
Alright,
Looking at you guys is pissing me off!
I'm gonna let you have that one because you're currently in distress.
Go away, okay? Just go somewhere else! Stop bothering me!
But this is your one. Do this again, and I won't like you. But Junpei was taken aback. Such anger and hate. June's eyes had gone wide with surprise as well.
Why are you still here? Did you hear me? Huh? Fine, forget it. If you aren't gonna leave, then I'll just...
Alright, let's go, June.
Yeah.
They turned and left Clover. And as they did, Junpei glanced back over his shoulder to see Clover wiping tears from her face. Clover had driven home the misery of their situation, but Junpei told himself that getting depressed would get him nowhere but depressed.
We really need to find Snake, for Clover's sake.
He did his best to push away the misery and depression, and force a smile.
So, where do you think we should go next?
Well, back to the large hospital room.
Alright, that's probably the best idea.
Together, they ran down the stairs.
Hey, wait, that's...
On the way to the large hospital room, Junpei and June noticed Santa sitting next to the number 3 door.
Santa?
Junpei paused. What should he do? Talk to him. Junpei and June walked up to Santa.
What are you doing?
What? You can't tell? I'm checking out the red.
Why? Is there something bothering you?
What? It's not bothering you?
Huh?
The guts of this red. Why wouldn't you wonder who the hell put it back in here?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm curious too, but...
Who do you think did it?
Santa's eyes narrowed as he looked at June. She shook her head.
I don't know.
Well, what about you, Junpei? Who do you think fixed this thing for us?
Why is Lotus an option? Oh, right, because she was the first one to come back. That makes sense. I mean, Snake seems like an obvious choice because nobody can fucking find him. But I'm gonna say Zero did it, or someone other than that. Now we're saying Zero.
I think it was probably Zero.
Why?
Isn't that obvious? He's the guy who set this whole thing up.
You don't think that should mean the opposite? Seems to me like that means he didn't do it. I mean, who do you think took that stuff out in the first place?
Probably Zero.
Yeah, Exactly. And why the hell would he put him back in after he'd taken them out himself?
Because he wanted us to all get back together again before we did it.
It just doesn't make sense. Why do all that work?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So, what happened then? Who put that stuff back in the Reds?
So, in other words, one of us is the person who fixed the red.
Santa grinned.
Bingo! We have a winner.
But if that's true, then the person who did it doesn't want the rest of us to know that they fixed it.
Yeah,
But why?
no idea. Maybe if they come clean on that, it means we'd find out something else. Something bad.
Something bad?
Dunno. But whatever it is, it's gotta be worth hiding. Of course, it could have something to do with Snake's disappearance.
You think maybe they did something to Snake?
Yeah.
Junpei stared at Santa. There was something about him that made Junpei wary. At first, he'd assumed the other man wasn't terribly clever, but Junpei was beginning to think he would need to reevaluate that assessment. When Santa spoke again, his voice was quiet.
Look, if you trust anybody in this game, you're gonna lose. You've gotta be careful. The person you trust the most could turn out to be the one who stabs you in the back.
Boy, that sounds familiar. With that depressing suggestion, he turned and quietly walked away.
That's that, I guess.
Junpei and June looked at one another and smiled awkwardly. Where would they go next? Is there anything else to do, or can we just finish searching? I don't know. I guess I'll click them all and just find out. But as to this point about who could have put the guts back in and they not wanting anybody else to know that they did it, I kind of wonder, because we know that Snake got the information on the Braille card that nobody else had. Did other people get things that only they had? Did Zero give one person 3 reader guts, or guts for the Reds, just to see what they would do at this point? And they decided to just fix them anonymously? Was that Clover, and she just immediately came back first just to do it? Did somebody else come back before she did it and then immediately leave? I don't know. Let's check both of these again to see if there's anything new.
Check out the first class cabin.
I kind of doubt that there is, but let's check.
No one's here. Maybe we'll have more luck. But where? Hey, why don't we can take a look?
Okay.
Oh, nobody's here. Let's look somewhere else.
But
Okay.
where?
So yeah, just back to the large room. I don't know why they bothered letting me go visit these other places again when there's nothing else to do there. Just remove them from the list. Looked everywhere they could have, but Snake was nowhere to be found.
Snake hasn't been anywhere we've searched.
Lotus looked around at 6 frustrated faces and
We
spoke.
can't keep looking for him. Wherever he is, it's not here. We need to get moving.
Junpei couldn't disagree with what she was saying. Snake seemed to have completely disappeared. There was no point to wasting any more time. The others seemed to be having similar thoughts, but they stayed silent. Finally, Seven spoke.
We don't got a choice. Lotus is right. We're not gonna find Snake. There's a problem, though. We've got to figure out who's gonna go through which door.
Yes, I have a proposal.
She walked back and forth across the floor, her heels clicking against the wood. Finally, she stopped.
Why don't we decide on one person to sacrifice?
Oh, shit! Okay.
Sacrifice?
Well, perhaps that's a bit of a harsh word,
Fuck.
but yes. You've all figured it out by now, haven't you?
I'm just gonna save right the fuck now.
We can't all make it through those doors. If we split into 2 teams of 4 and 3 people respectively, then 3 people will be left behind. If we split into 2 teams of 5 and 2 people respectively, then 2 people will be left behind. But if we split into 2 groups of 3 and leave 1 person out, then only 1 person will be left behind.
Leaving me in 3 people with 2 teams of 4 and 3? I mean, I haven't done the math, so I can't say that I'm sure about that. Junpei wasn't quite sure that was true.
Wait a minute. 2 people get left behind if we split into 5 and 2.
I thought there were 3 doors, so why can't we split into 3
One
groups?
person is left behind if we split into 3, 3, and 1. I got that part. You can't go through the numbered doors with any less than 3 people.
Yeah.
But if we split into 4 and 3, then why do 3 people have to be left behind?
Just run the numbers. Let's say we go through door 7 with 1, 4, 5, 6. Who's left over?
That would be 3, 7, 8.
And what's the digital root for that?
3 plus 7 plus 8 is 18, so add 1, 8, 9.
Exactly. But door 9 isn't here, right? That means 3, 7, 8 won't be going anywhere. That was just an example, of course. There are a lot of different combinations, but the result will always be the same. It doesn't matter which 4 it is. The 3 that are left over can't go through any of the doors. Go ahead and calculate it if you have the time. Anyway, that's how it is. Now, if we can get back to my proposal, we only have to sacrifice 1 person if we split into 3, 3, and 1.
When Seven spoke, his voice was strained.
Then you're saying we gotta decide who's gonna stay behind.
Yes, we do. Given our circumstances, it's logically and morally the best solution. If the other 6 are to survive, then 1 person has to sacrifice themselves.
Shit.
No, that's too cruel.
What's so cruel about it?
To just sacrifice someone like that?
Then what's your plan? Maybe we should sacrifice 2 people instead of just 1.
That's not what I meant. We shouldn't sacrifice anyone.
I told you, that's impossible. Wake up.
Whoa, whoa, calm down, you 2.
I like how he uses the number 2 here instead of the word. Does he have to step between Lotus and June?
What Lotus is trying to say is, you should aim to bring the greatest amount of happiness to the greatest amount of people, right?
Exactly. That's how democracy works. And for that reason, I think the only fair way to decide who will be sacrificed is through a vote. What do you think?
No, that's terrible.
I'm not asking you. Shut up. What about you, Santa?
Me? Well, I agree, I guess.
All right, that's 1 vote for. Counting mine, that's 2. 7.
I can't say I agree with you, but we don't exactly have a choice. If we don't do something, we're all gonna die.
Huh, glad to see you get it. If I can get 1 more vote, then it's decided. What about you, Clover?
Clover had moved away from the group and was sitting on one of the beds. Her whole body drooped. Junpei didn't know if she'd even heard Lotus's proposal.
Hey, Clover.
Lotus walked over to Clover and gently laid a hand on her shoulder.
Your brother has to be behind one of the numbered doors.
Why does he have to be behind one of them? Doesn't make any sense.
We've searched everywhere, but we didn't find him. Doesn't that mean he has to have gone through one of them somehow?
How? Clover slowly lifted her face.
Let's go look for him together, okay? If we sacrifice 1 person, then we can go look for him. You agree with me, right?
Okay.
Clover nodded once.
The motion carries.
Lotus spun around and walked toward Junpei.
Now, let's start a vote to...
That won't be necessary.
Ace had barely spoken for Lotus's entire speech, and everyone jumped a little. 6 pairs of eyes turned to look at me. Is he gonna... Here's what I'm wondering. Is he gonna volunteer to sacrifice himself? Because it kind of feels like he might. Or is he gonna suggest, which I would agree with, hey, you brought up the idea of sacrificing somebody. Maybe it should be you, Clover. I'd vote for that. He didn't seem to notice, or even care.
I will stay. That should solve our problem, yes?
Ace, what are you saying? No, you can't do that. That won't solve anything.
June's voice shook, and she looked around desperately for someone to agree with her. Ace simply looked at her.
June, I'm afraid you may have misunderstood me. I said I would stay, but I never said I would sacrifice myself.
Interesting.
Huh?
I trust you. Each and every one of you. I believe you'll come back for me.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Ooh.
There's optimistic, and then there's just nuts. Those doors only go one way. You go in, you don't come out. If we go through them.
You won't be able to return, correct?
Yeah.
True, but that will not be the case once you've escaped from the ship.
What?
Please, I beg you.
Plus,
Once you've escaped, come back and rescue me.
plus, he's actually kind of smart here thinking this. Because if Snake somehow shows back up, 1 + 2, 3. Oh no, they still need a third person, never mind. No, that still doesn't work. Nah, you're screwed, dude. You're dead.
Ideally, within the time limit Zero has given us.
No, that's ridiculous. There's no way we could get back in time.
But he's definitely taking this from a, I'm the oldest one here, I've already lived my life, you guys get to live your life kind of deal. But finally, Junpei could hold his tongue no longer.
We've only got 5 hours left. We don't even know where the hell we are. How on earth are we gonna find someone to come and rescue you?
Then, perhaps you would prefer to stay instead of me?
No!
Or perhaps you would be willing to leave June behind?
Ace's voice was dignified, and without a hint of cruelty or malice. Junpei had no rebuttal.
You see, there's no other choice. Then I see we've come to our conclusion. Go on. Don't worry yourselves about me. Go, quickly.
Junpei stood frozen by indecision, unable to move. June bit her lips so hard that Junpei feared she would break the skin. Santa stood against the wall, calm and aloof. Seven tore his beanie from his head and turned it over anxiously in his hands. Only Clover stared at Ace, with an expression Junpei was unable to decipher. Lotus's attitude, however, was different from the others.
Good. Let's accept his kind offer then.
She smiled, her eyes bright. Ace answered with a smile of his own.
Good. I think this is the best for me. Perhaps I'll be able to take a nap. It may be my age, but I get tired so easily these days.
Wow. As he spoke, Ace lowered himself down to the floor next to one of the beds. From somewhere deep in the ship, Junpei suddenly heard the screeching of metal on metal. It was almost as if the ship were screaming. Would it really hold until their time limit was up? Already, D-deck was flooded. In the sudden silence, the only sound was the sad metal wail of the ship. And surprisingly, it was Lotus who spoke first.
Well, what are you waiting for? We're wasting time. Why don't we hurry it up?
As if a spell had been broken, the others all began to talk at once.
You're right. We should get going. That's all we can do right now.
7.
Seriously. Honestly, I was getting kind of sick of listening to you guys talk.
You too, Santa?
I have to find my brother.
Wait, all of you. Let's just calm down and think about this. There has to be a way to get everyone out. There has to be. Right, Junpei? Say something.
I mean, if we could find Snake, then maybe.
Yeah, let's think. There's gotta be another way.
His words sounded hollow and fake.
Fine. Forget about it. I'll figure it out on my own.
She spun around and ran toward Ace. He had slumped down next to the bed when June grabbed his arm and pulled.
Ace! Come on, Ace. Please stand up. You can't give up yet. We just have to sit down together and think about this. We'll figure out a way that we can all get out of here.
Then it happened. Ace fell forward. He slumped over onto the wooden floor, his body folded in half like a boxer out cold.
Ace!
June cried out and dropped to her knees beside him. She put her arm around his neck and did her best to lift him up.
What happened? Ace, say something!
She shook him, frantically. His eyes fluttered open.
I'm all right.
His voice was weak and slightly slurred.
How are you all right?
This.
He held onto his left arm and slowly opened his hand.
A syringe?
Fuck. In it was a syringe and a small vial. The vial was empty. It had only recently been emptied. A few drops clung to his side. To the sides, rather. There was a label taped to the side of the container. Blech, words. It read Soparil Beta. Soparil Beta?
Soparil Beta. What does this do? Did you use this?
Yes. It's just anesthetic. I'll be fine.
No, it's not.
Anesthetic.
I found it earlier, while we were searching the hospital rooms. I thought it might be useful later. I didn't think I'd be using it on myself.
Why did you do this?
Didn't I tell you? I'd like to take a nap. I really am. Very tired.
Junpei knew that wasn't why he'd done it. Ace had injected himself with anesthetic to forestall Junpei into his attempts to bring him along. If he couldn't move, there was nothing they could do. He'd injected himself so that they would be forced to leave him behind.
Ace.
Is there something you want to say? I just like to sleep a little. Could you keep it down?
No, don't, Ace. Don't fall asleep.
You feel warm. So comfortable. I think I'll have a nice dream.
Ace's eyelids drooped further and further, almost as though he were dying.
Ace! Ace!
She shook his shoulder again and again, but this time he didn't respond. Only the gentle rising and falling of his chest told them he was alive. Junpei was relieved to see he was in fact still breathing. I honestly didn't. I thought he was gonna die. Right? I thought he just injected himself to kill himself. Shit.
Let's get him up on a bed.
He lifted Ace up off the floor and laid him on the bed he'd been leaning against. When Junpei turned around, Lotus gave him a look of pity.
Well, we really don't have a choice now. We can't let his sacrifice go to waste, right?
Like you even mean that.
You say something?
No, nothing.
It felt wrong, but he had to agree. Then suddenly, Santa spoke.
Yeah, but we're not done choosing yet, are we?
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, we haven't decided who's going in what door.
Ah, yes. Yes, that's true.
Enough of this screwing around. Let's decide. You first, Lotus. Which door do you want?
All right, and I think that's going to be a good stopping point here for today's episode. According to these abstract facts, so I don't really know strictly what I just did, but I hope you enjoyed what we just saw, and tune in for the next episode of 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. See you all next time. Bye, everyone.